Hi, let's understand consignment process steps. I am directly jumping into the system configuration steps so that we can spend time in understanding accounting entries and their respective movement types. To recall my previous sessions, so for consignment process steps, you should have a info record as mandatory and you create consignment purchase order with item category K and you take the stocks as goods received with movement type 101K and you start using this consignment stock which you received either through changing the ownership of the consignment stock to your stock or started consuming it, right? That you do through these movement types using MyGo only. When you used the consignment stock, you have to settle the vendor. You do it through MRKO, not MIRO. So there are some prerequisites. Keep this in mind. Should maintain standard purchase order because consignment process procurement works with a special procurement. This is a special procurement type. That's the reason standard purchase organization should be there instead of the purchase order which you use for standard purchase organizations. So standard purchase orders use purchase organization, your purchase organization. But but consignment procurement type use standard purchase organization. Okay, there is a difference. The purchase organizations are involved in standard purchases and consignment purchases, right? So that's the reason you should have a standard purchase organization in the system to configure the special procurement type consignment. I will show you in the system. If you see, go to SPRO, enterprise structure, go to assignment, material management. You see here, you need to assign purchase organization to plant. This is purchase organization to plant. Here you have two options, standard purchase organization to plant, and there is one more concept, reference purchase organization. For now it is a standard purchase organization that we have to, so plant, take your plant and keep the purchase organization. If you have more than one purchase organization, and one purchase organization can be a standard purchase organization, right? This is also one of the mandatory we should maintain for consignment procurement. Second one is we also need to maintain tax code info record, tax code in info record, consignment info record under purchase order data. Why we need to maintain tax code? Because system considers tax code from info record. As you know, consignment purchase order will not have price details. The moment you keep item category K, you will not see prices. I'll show you this. /n ME21N. So when you're creating a purchase order, take your organizations and take this as your consignment info record maintained material. Okay, let's say 25 quantities and give your plant and your storage location. Hit enter. See what happens? The price conditions tab has come because I have not selected item category K. Because I have not kept K, system is thinking that it is a standard purchase order. I say blank means standard purchase order. But I am now keeping this as a K. What is K? Is a consignment. Let's keep K. If you hit enter, this will be grayed out and this conditions tab itself disappear. Okay, you see, right? So now this is the reason consignment purchase order, the moment you keep item category K, there will be no price details. That is the reason you maintain these price details and tax details in the info record. Okay, not only just maintaining the tax details, but there is a field under purchase org which you have to select, and then output determination. Why it is mandatory here? Because If it is a regular purchase, you receive an invoice from the vendor, right? But for consignment, there is no invoice because supplier dumps the material in your premise against your purchase order, consignment purchase order, but there is no invoice. You, you generate the settlement document, not invoice, based on your consumption. That is handled by output message. So this output message to be generated for the vendor to inform them about the settlement, similar to how invoices or purchase orders generate output. If you don't configure this, MRKO transaction will not work because it should settle the amount, right? So if you don't keep standard purchase organization and if you don't keep tax code, if you don't configure output determination, consignment process will not work from start to end. Okay. Now let's go and see. Just recall. Okay. You know, you will take the goods with the movement type 101K and that will become consignment stock. And once your consignment stock is in your warehouse, you start using the consignment stock, right? One way is 411K, where you convert that consignment stock to your regular stock. It will become your own stock. And there are two ways where within your company, this consignment stock can be consumed directly by other departments. If you use 201K, which means the usage, the consumption is going to a cost center. Mostly this is for a utility, daily operations departments they use it. They just simply consume this material. After consuming this kind of material, for all these kinds of materials where office and you just consume it like A4 sheets, like all office printers, maintenance, all of that. You just consume it, right? But it is a goods movement also is happening. But after consuming, there is no value is getting generated. So to differentiate, SAP has come up with 201K, which you use it purely for consuming the goods, and after consuming there will be no value generated. And there is another consuming, like if your consignment product is raw material, even raw material also your production team consume directly from consignment stock, and that doesn't have to come to your own stock. They can directly consume consignment stock through production order, right? That time what happens? So you here, after consuming, a value will be generated, right? You're using the raw material to produce your own product, and that product is going to generate revenue. So to differentiate, this is going to be incur expenditure for company, but this is going to expenditure for company, but it has a value after consuming, right? Both are belongs to goods issue. This is goods received, and this is for transfer ownership. And last one is 122K to return the unused stock to vendor. Okay. Now let's understand some of the transaction keys are involved in consignment procurement type. So the main transaction key is consignment payable KON, which means whenever you start consuming the consignment stock, this account gets triggered, mentioning you that you are liable to pay to the vendor. Okay, when you withdraw or consume consignment material, KON will be credited, right? And later, this KON will be debited when you are doing the MRKO settlement. Okay, when it comes to GBB VBR, this is inventory posting consumption. So whenever there is a consumption of consignment stock, to offset that entry, see here is a consignment stock and you consuming it. You know, right? Two ways you can consume. One is direct consume and there will be no value. Another one is through production consume and there will be a value after consuming, right? So these two you can represent with GBB VBR. So GBB is the transaction key, VBR is the modifier. Using this modifier, so which consume it is? Is it a just consuming or without with the value consuming, right? So like this is offsetting entry. What is offsetting entry? meaning you received something from somewhere that has to be settled, which means I am like borrowing this to consume this material from here. So it is always linked to this where this material has come that I have to offset. Now, so this is where GBB VBR comes into play. When there is a consuming consignment stock, this GBB VBR comes into picture. The combination of GBB VBR tells SAP a go to GBB transaction key and then use the VBR modifier to find the correct consumption GL account. Is it a cost center account or production order account? GBB offsetting entry for inventory posting uses modifier key VBR. This is internal posting. If it is scrapping, same GBB VNG will come. VBR is coming because internal goods issue. GBB BSA will come when initial entry of stock. Right? Now the other transaction key is BSX. BSX is normally is not consignment mostly involved, but it will be involved when the inventory, company inventory is getting hit. For example, this is the offsetting entry again, meaning BSX inventory account received. Inventory account means your own inventory increased. From where it got increased? From here. So it has to offset this with this. So indicating that you withdraw consignment ownership from so that it becomes your stock. Right? This is where BSC comes into picture. Whenever in SAP your inventory is hitting, BSX will come. Whenever in SAP inventory consumption is happening, GBB VBR will come. Whenever in SAP consignment stock has come, KON account will be triggered. When consignment stock is withdrawn and becomes your company's own stock, BSX is debited to reflect the increase in your own inventory value. That's the reason it is an offsetting entry. There is one more transaction key which we don't use here in consignment procurement, but it is good to have a discussion on this. So this is also one of the offsetting entry. WRX, you have seen that, right? WRX also one of the offsetting entry where it indicates that you have received goods for which an invoice is expected. It is becoming your own stock directly. There is no involvement of consignment. It is going to be your stock. For that, it's going to be your own. For that, you are liable to pay and you're expecting an invoice. Right? So by using WRX, the GRIR account acts as a bridge. Once both the goods received and invoice receipts are posted for the same quantity and value, and this account net to becomes zero. Okay, not relevant for consignment because no liability is created at GR. If you are receiving goods directly to your stock, then WRX will come. No, you are receiving the goods into your stock, but it is not going to be your stock. It will be consignment stock. Then KON will come. Clear, right? Yeah. Mostly understand these three. This is always a stock. You have it in your warehouse, and it should goes down always in a credit side. It decreases. These two are because it is started getting the stock from consignment to here to consume, this gets debit. Because it is changing the ownership from consignment to your inventory, so it gets debit. Okay, it increases, and this one decreases. Actually, these keys play critical role in account determination. They link material movements and business transaction to the correct general ledger. That's the only reason we use transaction keys. And there is one more transaction key it is good to discuss. Sometimes you see along with BSX you also see AKO in consignment. This AKO is a difference between consignment price maintained in the purchase info record and material standard price. If there is a difference, then AKO will come into picture. AKO acts as a variance account for consignment movements of the standard price materials. It captures the difference between the material standard price and the actual consignment price. right? Let's use with an example. This is gain and this is loss, right? And then again, as usual, KON always gets a price from the info record, so it is 90. In both cases, AKO acts as a balancing entry to account for the difference. Okay, we'll come to this. Now let's go to the system. Create one material. So I want to do it quickly, so I'm taking this reference material. So make somewhere a note and create one vendor who supply this material. Now create info record, which is mandatory. So it is 212 is your customer and 472 is okay. Just take your and then select consignment, hit enter. So maintain all the mandatory fields. Delivery date, delivery time is 1 day. Here I told you, so this tax code we should maintain. Okay, I maintained as like nil, no tax. Okay, and here you have to maintain, let's say I'm maintaining exact amount 300. Okay, and let's go to conditions. You have to maintain your conditions, like here let's say this is for so discount, this is for freight, this is for tax. So I'm maintaining 1%. I will tell you the implications of this. Okay, for now I'm maintaining tax at 1%. Okay, my info record got saved. Now it's good to go and create purchase order, consignment purchase order. So you remember your vendor is the vendor, is a consignment, he agreed for a consignment stock with this product. Enter your organization details. And your material, let's say 25 quantities, so you're raising a PO. Enter. So what happens, this condition tab has come and there is a place you can mention price. Why? Because I have not, this system is thinking it is a standard price, right? So now let's give K, enter. So grayed out, save. So your purchase order is ready. Very good. Take this purchase order and you do the goods receipt /n MITO. Okay, take the goods receipt against the purchase order, paste your purchase order, hit enter and just select the quantity. Check it. So the document is okay, post it. Now you just took the goods and if you remember, so we should not, yeah, we should not, it will become consignment stock, it is not your stock, so it should not create accounting documents. Let's go and check. Go to display so that you can see the material, recent material document generated for this PO. Hit enter. So go to document info and click on FI documents. You will get a message saying that there is no subsequent document found in accounting, because consignment purchase order, when you do the goods receipt, it should not generate any accounting entries. Good, it is working fine. Now check your stock /o MMBE. So 472 executed. You see there is a 25 quantities under vendor consignment and it is not, I don't have any of this product. 472 is not there in my plant, not there in my storage location, but there in my plant and storage location, but under consignment stock, but I don't have my own stock, right? Now let's get 5 quantities from consignment to your plant. Okay, your own stock. Your plant means your own stock. Now how do we do that? You know the transaction code, right? Let's go. So here /n MIGO, right? And here you have to do the transfer posting and give which material. This is 472, right? 472, enter. Where is this? It is in plant, and this storage location. And where you are moving, destination, I'm moving it to the same storage location. What is this transaction is happening then? Only changing the consignment ownership to my stock. And then this is the material quantity. How many you want to move? Let's move 5. Where? And from this vendor. Who is the vendor of this product? Is 212, right? So enter and hit enter. So that's all, right? Now check the document. Document is okay, posted. So document got posted, and if you refresh this, 20 should be here and 5 increased, meaning 5 has become your own stock, 20 still under consignment stock. Good. Now let's see. Now I consumed his stock, consignment stock. Now I am liable to pay 5 quantities. Now this transaction should has accounting entries. So let's go to same display, so that recent material document you can view immediately. Hit enter. Go to document info, FI documents. Go see document is there, accounting document. Good. See, as you know, 5 quantities from consignment KON credited, decreased, and here BSX 5 quantity, BSX means inventory account, right, is debited, increased. Your stock got increased, right? And what is this difference amount is your tax, right? So 1500, 1% is 15 rupees, and this 15 rupees and system cannot keep it in the KON because this price is coming from info record. The difference amount it will post it in the AKO. Clear now, right? Good. Now let's go and issue this stock. Okay, one more scenario to issue the stock and see how the accounting entries are maintained. So same MIGO, goods issue. Okay, and here the material is 472, 472, and quantity I'm going to issue 5 directly from consignment. Okay, I'm going to issue 5 quantity from consignment, not from my own. Where it is there in this plant, in this storage location. What you're doing, I'm issuing to my cost center 201K, right? Go. Who is the vendor who supplied this product, so that I am liable to settle his usage of his product. Go here. And what is the cost center? I've created one cost center, enter. So check the document and post it. Document got posted. So come here and check. Now this should become 15. Do you think that 5 will come and add here? No, because I have not got this stock to my stock. Instead, this 5 quantity already used by my cost center department, some admin team. Okay, refresh it. You should see only 15, and I still have my own 5 quantities, right? So for these two, you're liable to pay to the vendor. First one is you change the ownership, 5 quantities. Second one is you issued the goods to your cost center department, right? Now let's go. Before we do, let's go and settle the /n MRKO. So this is your company code, and I want this material. 472. Let's see how many. See, 5 quantity 472, 5 quantity 472. Right now these are not settled, so this is the area MRKO screen. Because I mentioned as display, that's the reason it just displayed. If you click here and execute it, it will automatically settle it. Please remember, this MRKO is not only for consignment, we can also use this for pipeline. Both are consumption based, right? So the more you use, usage based. Accordingly, usage only, you will settle the vendor. And now let's go and hit the settle button. See, consignment settlement. No message was found for partner company code because my output type I have not configured. So let's go and configure the output type. MRKO. This is your material. Execute it. So not settled. Now click on this settle button. Execute it. Document created. If you click on the document, go to general ledger. See here only you can see like KBS account is negative, credited, accounts payable, team gets the positive. This is one more. Now let's see production order. /n MIGO. To do production order, a goods issue, you need to have a production order, right? So let's create one production order. So this production order usually given by a production team. You don't worry about it. MIGO. So here goods are issuing. So with the okay, keep it. Let's do 472. Number of quantity is 10. Processed on that production order. Where plant, storage location, enter. So it's going to be movement type is going to be 261K, right? You got your partner from where you are onto. Yes, here you should give your production order number. Hit enter. So check, post. Again, your material document got posted. Just check the document. Hit enter. Click on FI documents. Say there is a accounting entry. You see, accounts payable is consignment is credited, GPB, right? Because you issued to your production order is debited, and the remaining 1% of tax AKO account. If you see again in MRKO /MRKO, so display. Okay, sorry. So let's give your material. Yes, get it. You see now 10 quantities not settled. Let's settle this also. Document created. Okay, you can see the document. So here KBS, right? Consignment account is credited, accounts payable is debited. I hope this is clear. And if you see this last so GI, so we have seen all these scenarios, right? Now we should be able to understand what account keys will come and why they are coming, and which one will be debited, which one will be credited. Thanks for watching.